This video is sponsored by Flowkey. It's commonly said that pop music nowadays is just crap, it's just rubbish. And I do really try to keep an open mind with this topic because it's very easy to hear these opinions about how music was so much better in the past and just think, oh, these are just old men yelling at clouds. But I do struggle to ignore the fact that, in 1967, Strawberry Fields Forever got to number 2 in the charts. And now you'd be hard-pressed to imagine anything like that appearing in the top 40. But there are still some songs in the top 40, big hits, that I consider to be great songs, to be songs that I really, really genuinely enjoy listening to. Not songs that I just can put up with, for example, Ed Sheeran, but songs that I find real artistic merit and emotional engagement in. So today I want to walk you through a collection of songs that I think are actually really, really good pop songs that came out in the last 2 or 3 years. The first song on my list got to number 21 on the US Billboard charts and to number 10 on the UK Top 40. It's Meet Me at Our Spot by The Anxiety. The Anxiety is actually a two-piece comprising of Tyler Cole and Will Smith's daughter, Willow Smith. And you might be thinking, Willow Smith, wait, isn't that... And that is what I thought when I first heard that Willow Smith had recorded some new music. But actually, on listening to this song, I found a really interesting and engaging piece of music. A piece of music that harkens back to slightly older music using guitars and, more bare bones arrangement and production, but a really engaging, original and fun piece of music. The next song is 17 Going Under by Sam Fender, which got to number 3 on the UK charts and didn't actually chart in the US on the Billboard 100.
I was far too scared to hit him, but I would hit him in a heartbeat now.
And this is one of those songs that I was genuinely surprised to see do so well in the charts. It's nothing like anything else in the charts. This is a Bruce Springsteen-inspired guitar anthem, sort of screaming about the woes of growing up and mental health, and it's just absolutely excellent. Sam Fender, I do think, is one of the best artists working today, and I'm really excited to see him crack America because he really does deserve to. The next song is another one that did really well in Europe and the UK, but I don't think even touched the US charts. It's ZITTI BUONI by Måneskin. Now, Måneskin are sort of an unlikely candidate to be one of the biggest new rock artists in the world, but they got there by winning the Eurovision Song Contest. And if you're an American and you don't even know what that is, it's basically a oddly politicized singing contest where you all have to present original songs, and it's usually what you might describe as sort of cheesy, glammy, camp Euro trash. But every now and then you get some sort of gem come through, and this is definitely one of those gems. This is a brilliant rock song, and I think the only rock song I've ever heard in Italian.
Conviene stare zitti e buoni, qui la gente è strana tipo spacciatori. Troppe notti stavo chiuso fuori.
The next artist is also someone who's bringing rock music back to the mainstream. It's Machine Gun Kelly and his song Forget Me Too.
You want me to forget you? Okay, forget me too.
Now, this song only scraped into the top 40. It literally got to 40 in the UK charts and got to number 44 on the US charts. But the album did score in the top 5 in both countries, so I do consider this to be a pop song. And Machine Gun Kelly is effectively bringing back pop-punk music, which is crazy considering that he actually is originally a hip-hop artist, and over the last 15 years has gone through some sort of transformation where he's now, pushing a revival of pop-punk.
Damn, I saw you walk in the room and I tried my best not to panic while I'm looking for the back door.
And you might be quick to brush this off as a sort of imitation of pop-punk, as a sort of paying some sort of homage to it. But this song is actually co-written and produced by Travis Barker, the drummer from Blink-182. So if he's behind this, I think we really can consider this an authentic pop-punk song. Flowkey is a really straightforward way to learn songs at the piano, but they've got a wide collection of music ranging from older songs like the Beatles and Elton John right up to modern hits. For example, I've got 7 Years by Lucas Graham here. And the feature I want to highlight to you today is what's called wait mode, which is when the app will wait to hear you play the correct note before moving on, which is not only a great way of moving the music forward for you so you can keep playing, but it gives you that instant feedback that you're playing the song correctly. So as you can see, if you play the correct note, it will move on. If you play the wrong note, it won't. To get started today, follow the link down below. Now, an artist that regularly appears on lists of progressive and interesting pop music is Billie Eilish. And I know lots of people write her off as some sort of industry plant or whatever, but I genuinely think she's one of the most interesting pop artists working today. And the song that I want to highlight is Happier Than Ever.
Talk about every time that you showed up on time, but I haven't anything like
This song got to number 4 in the UK charts and number 11 in the US charts. And something that I find really interesting about this is it's an example of something you don't get in pop music very often anymore, which is a dramatic mood shift, the sort of shift you associate with A Day in the Life or Bohemian Rhapsody. The song begins as a very muted acoustic guitar song.
when I'm away from you.
And it's very easy actually to write it off before you've even got halfway through because it's this kind of quite simple ditty. But actually that's just setting the stage, building the anticipation for the release, the cathartic release of energy that comes halfway through, where the acoustic guitar and muted vocal is swapped out for a highly in-your-face compressed rock sound. The time signature changes from 12/8 to 6/8, and the tempo changes as well, and you just get this excellent sense of release, which plays perfectly into the lyrics.
Make me hate this city, and I don't talk shit about you.
And I have to admit that when I first listened to this song on the album, I actually turned it off before I got to the end of the acoustic section. I didn't even realise that rock section was there until I later heard it on the radio. And on many radio versions, they either shorten that acoustic section or completely cut it out. And although I do agree that the best part of the song is that second half, the rock section, I think the true power of that song comes by having those contrasting moods, and that really gives that song that release when you get to that second section. And I find it quite amazing that it actually succeeded in being released in a format where it has those two opposing sections, because it would have been very easy for the record label to push for the second half to just be the entire song. And I imagine that conversation was probably had. So credit to Billie Eilish for pushing for her vision of this piece of music. And the last song on my list is Deathbed by Powfu, featuring a prominent sample from beabadoobee.
I don't wanna fall asleep, I don't wanna pass away. I've been thinking of our future cause I'll never see those days.
This song got to number 4 in the UK charts and number 23 in the US Billboard charts. And as I said, it features a prominent sample from beabadoobee's Coffee song, which beabadoobee is a fantastic artist in their own right that you should check out. But this song is by Powfu, who is effectively a rapper, and I would have to say this song isn't necessarily the sort of thing that I would normally be drawn to, and it, I think, walks the line between being cheesy and very earnest, and I think it successfully stays on that side of earnest, of true emotional expression. And it's a really touching song about a young person with some sort of terminal illness, and a great combination as well of a great sample and a great opposing musical section. So that's my 6 songs that aim to prove that pop music today isn't all crap. But I've also got some honourable mentions, the first of which is Redbone by Childish Gambino. This song got to number 12 in the US and number 51 in the UK. And the only reason I didn't include it on my main list is it came out in 2016. But I think this is one of the most original and interesting songs that I've heard full stop for a long time, let alone charting. So I really think this song deserves a lot of praise and a lot of merit for what it's done. Another artist that needs to be mentioned is The Weeknd, who I think over the last 10 years has been one of the most interesting pop artists. I couldn't quite bring myself to putting any one of his songs on my list because I was trying to keep the list particularly short, but Blinding Lights is an excellent song, as is some of his older songs like Can't Feel My Face. Brilliant artist, The Weeknd. And the last song I mentioned is a song called Boy by Charlie Puth, which I didn't add on the list because it wasn't actually a single, it wasn't actually in the charts, but it was on his album, and I think we can all agree that this is a pop song, and a really great pop song at that. The criteria I worked with this video is that the song had to have come out either in 2020, 2021 or 2022, and it had to have been in the top 40, at least either in the US or the UK. So if you can think of any other songs that match that criteria that you think are a great example of a really interesting and original pop song that's in the charts today, then do let me know, because I always like to pick these gems out of the otherwise quite, benign selection of music.